We all use our smartphones for almost everything, like connecting with people, consume social media content, attend meetings, take photos, videos, and play games, which it does perfectly. But using it as a PC to get your work done never been the go-to for most people. That's why I wanted to give Google's desktop mode on my 10 Pro XL the chance to be my main work PC. I will do all my daily tasks as a content creator and rate my experience in each one to let you know how far it can go and if it's time to rely on your phone for everything. I start the day by checking my emails, which obviously has a lot of spam, sponsorship deals, and others offering me their services. I found the Gmail app on the desktop mode to be good enough. It has a 2-column design that I can resize the way I want. All functions expected from a proper email client are available, like flagging emails, schedule send, set out-of-office replies, mark as read or unread, and a lot more. I also enjoy the smart replies that saves me time in some scenarios, and if you have an AI Pro or higher subscription, you get access to Gemini, which helps in summarizing emails or draft replies thanks to the Help Me Write feature. In contrast, I found 4 annoying things that I wish Google will address in future updates. First, it always opens a separate window for replies. I wish it opens in line with the ability to pop out the window if I need to. Second, no right-click support, so I have to move the cursor all the way to the top right corner to get access to the rest of the functions hidden under the ellipses. Third, I cannot pin the side menu to the side to quickly switch between folders, which also the reason for the fourth issue, which is no drag and drop gesture to move messages between folders. So I have to use the menus to move messages. This is time consuming for such a simple task. Overall, Gmail was good enough to get the job done with some good tricks like Gemini integration and the smart replies, but it needs to improve the navigation to feel more like a proper desktop app. Maybe there are other email clients that work better in desktop mode, but I always prefer to use the native option. With that said, I can handle my emails using desktop mode with an overall rating of 7 out of 10. Then comes the scheduling. Google Calendar shares some of the issues I talked about in Gmail. No side menu pinning to quickly filter out calendars or move events between them using the drag and drop gesture. Thankfully, you can move events up and down or between days, but unfortunately to stretch an event you have to click the edit button first to get access to the handles, which is not ideal. I also didn't like that setting or editing an event opens a side menu. I wish it had a pop-up window next to the cursor to set everything for easier navigation. Other than this, I was able to schedule my work, so it passed this test, but it can be better, so again 7 out of 10. The third task is internet browsing. I use Chrome to check the latest articles about tech, fill in my Google Apps Updates master sheet with the new changes, watch the latest YouTube videos, in addition to general browsing. In this scenario, Chrome gave me a proper desktop experience. It defaults to the website's desktop version, it has multi-window support, right-click support, easily create tab groups, pin tabs, and many more. The only 2 missing features are Gemini integration, but thankfully this one is coming to Android soon, plus I can still use Gemini app or web app if I want to. The second one is the extensions support, which didn't allow me to use the vidIQ extension as I normally would on the Windows version. Additionally, I have 2 minor complaints related to the tab switcher. First, the tabs are so big and stretched, which looks weird. In contrast, synced groups from other devices page is too small. But overall, my experience with Chrome was great with minor issues and overall rating of 8.5 out of 10. Then comes the big step, creating videos. It's a long process that involves a lot of tasks. Starting with the small ones, I normally use Microsoft Word and Excel on my desktop PC to write scripts, compare things, or list new features I've spotted in software updates before shooting. My usage here is basic and straightforward. If you are a pro user of these apps, you might encounter some limitations, but in my case, it was fine. I used Google Docs to write the script for this video and to take notes as I work. I found the Google Sheets and Docs apps or web versions to be sufficient for my workflow. Plus, they integrate with Gemini, which helps in proofreading or rewriting parts of the script, which is nice. Opening and editing documents like presentations or PDFs, I was able to handle just fine, no complaints here, same as meetings. Either you're going to use Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, or any web-based platform to attend your meetings, it just works. It's even better than my desktop in this scenario as my phone already has the camera and microphone built in, so I don't need to attach any external peripherals. All you need is a stand to be able to position your phone properly. However, moving into the actual video editing phase, that's when things started to fall apart. Since I typically rely on Adobe Premiere Pro on my Windows PC, I initially looked for Adobe Rush as an alternative, only to discover it has been discontinued with no direct successor on Android. I then turned to Adobe Express, which was the only option available from Adobe. Though it seemed promising at first, it failed to perform correctly on a larger display. The layers mysteriously disappeared and it wouldn't let me navigate the timeline using a mouse, which was incredibly frustrating, even though it behaved fine on my phone's screen. Continuing my search, I tested CapCut, but I found it equally bad to navigate due to a stretched UI and tiny buttons. KineMaster was the best alternative I found, but it fell short when accelerating video speed to 2x or higher, which caused the preview playback to glitch, and after extensive troubleshooting, I can confidently conclude that Android is not yet equipped for this workflow. This major bottleneck ultimately forced me to return to my desktop PC to complete my project. This experiment shows that desktop mode is sufficient for essential tasks like checking emails, scheduling events, browse the web, attending meetings, view or create documents, and more. While there are still drawbacks even in these areas, it's generally enough to keep you productive. However, for professional creative work like video editing or other power user tasks, it remains far from perfect. Let me also talk about the pros, the cons, and the areas of improvement I came across while using desktop mode in general. Starting with the pros, I love the fact that it supports multi-desktops, which is a great feature for multitasking. Secondly, the keyboard shortcuts is another great addition. You can dedicate some time to set it once to save yourself a lot of clicks later. Third, I was really impressed by the performance. I didn't encounter any slowdowns or glitches. I felt like I'm using a proper PC most of the time. Moving to the areas of improvement, pinning apps to the taskbar is a useful capability. However, because the taskbar mirrors my phone's home screen, every pinned app automatically populates there as well, which I find frustrating. These two spaces should function independently. Furthermore, the taskbar is restricted to a maximum of 5 apps, the exact same limit as the mobile screen. This constraint feels unnecessary for a desktop layout, which offers more than enough screen real estate to accommodate a larger selection of pinned apps. The ability to use apps side by side is another great feature, but being limited to 2 apps only is not enough on such a big screen. It can definitely handle 3 apps or more, but for me to achieve this, I have to manually resize and position the windows myself, which is fine, but not ideal. When it comes to the cons, to open the quick settings, you can click on the pill on either top corner, but dismissing it is another disappointment. It doesn't go away when I click on an empty space. However, I have to swipe up from the bottom edge of the screen or re-click the pills again, which is not intuitive. Additionally, managing the screen recorder requires using the phone's screen, which feels like a strange design choice. Constantly swapping between devices just to get things done is highly inconvenient. It's also weird that I don't get the ability to place apps on my desktop like a normal PC or Samsung DeX that offers the same functionality. Finally, the requirement for the phone's screen to stay on the entire time while using desktop mode doesn't make any sense. It offers no practical benefit for my workflow, yet needlessly strains the battery and overloads the CPU. If Google addresses these issues in the upcoming updates, it will make a huge difference in the overall experience, so I hope someone is listening to fix them. The last thing to talk about in this video is the actual setup. If you decided to rely on desktop mode, there are a lot of options to make your setup as simple as possible. I recommend buying a dock. I already use this one from Ugreen. Just one cable connects to my phone to give me access to a HDMI port for the monitor, multiple USB-A ports for the peripherals like my wireless keyboard, mouse, or any external storage, and one power delivery USB-C port to charge my phone while working. You can spend a bit more to get a phone stand with a built-in docking station like this one, which is even better. Or for the best experience, you can get a Next dock, which includes a 15.6-inch portable screen with a keyboard and mouse pad for the cleanest setup and the best portability. By this, I covered everything, and here is my final verdict. Desktop mode is perfectly adequate for essential tasks, which make up about 50 to 70% of most people's daily work. It can definitely serve as a laptop replacement when you are traveling, on vacation, or on the go. However, for professional workflows like video editing, coding, data analysis, or anything similar, it just isn't there yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but for now, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.